The Me Too movement in general is something we're really proud of. We're fortunate and we're humbled and we're honored that we can be one small part of that. And I think it's critical that we shine light on the things that we haven't been talking about in the past, and that's why public conversation is our purpose, because we think it drives society. It can move society in really positive and constructive ways. Well, I haven't been here 5 years, so wanted to make sure that I got a chance to see all the progress, and we're really proud of what CS and the team has done. We're doing this tour around the world to focus on and get insights around how Twitter is used everywhere.
How Twitter came back to this position?
I think it's quite simple. We focused on who we serve, and through that lens, we rediscovered what we believe to be our superpower, which is conversation. And we believe that public conversation helps drive society, influences society. And while we may look small, we have some of the most influential people in the world using Twitter every day. Not just to tweet, but to see what's happening and what people are thinking about. That's one of the things that came up with President Moon, is just getting a sense of how the country and the people are thinking about issues. It's not just about tweeting and have direct conversations, and not during these one particular events, but every single day. So I think it's a very powerful tool in that regard, and we focused all of our efforts to make that better, to clarify our purpose around serving the public conversation company and how we operate and the size of our company, and make changes as necessary. And we did all those. We had the courage to do it, and we kept a very long-term mindset, and here we are. But we're on the precipice of something I think much larger, because we've earned the right to think a lot deeper now and a lot bigger, because we've created so much stability into the core service and also the core business. The thing about Twitter is a lot of what has made Twitter successful was actually created by the people using it. So the @ symbol, the hashtag, the retweet, we were good observers of what people wanted to do. We made it easier. You jumped off our service into billboards, into television, into our competitors as well. The big turnaround for us was rediscovering that and refocusing on that. And yeah, we had to make a lot of tough decisions. We had to make decisions around the size of the company, for instance. We had to shut down products that we believed in, but ultimately we're not serving that public conversation, not serving our purpose.
Firmly guaranteed on Twitter. How can actually Twitter get away from such a problem like this happening all around the world?
I think there's a distinction between anonymity and pseudonymity. Anonymity is not something we incentivize for. What is amplified on the service? And that's where we really need to spend a lot of our time thinking. There's a lot more we could do around making sure that things that have negative or destructive impact are not amplified and do not spread. Activists, including journalists, including whistleblowers, including movements like School Me Too, where you might be a little bit concerned with your real identity getting out there, which might resonate with them, that ultimately leads to policy changes. And we want to make sure that we're not encouraging just random acts of harassment or abuse or ill deeds.
Some people point out that the growth of Twitter actually stopped. Also, you have announced that you will no longer disclose the monthly users, but focus on daily active users. So what is the reason, and any thoughts about this?
Yeah. At our scale, which is massive, the number of people who log into the service, it's what people see. We see tweets on television, we see tweets in newspapers. It's likely the case that every single person on this planet has seen a tweet at one point in their life. So the size of the network is large. It's not something that we can count. So we like to focus on influence. And as I said earlier, we have some of the most influential people in the world who are responsible for driving society's conversations. And that's really important, and that's really hard to find, because we believe that Twitter provides value every single day. And we're not a typical social network where you just check it once a month. We believe that people get their news from Twitter. We believe that people get a sense of what people feel about the news through Twitter. And that's an everyday occurrence. You may ask, how my former high school colleague or a classmate is doing maybe once a month, but you ask the question, what's happening every single day? And maybe even every single hour.
Actually use Twitter as supporting school Me Too.
The Me Too movement in general is something we're really proud of in terms of people choosing us to share their experiences in a way that resonated with so many other people around the world. And School Me Too is an even deepening and extension of that because we have all these brave young individuals who are not afraid to speak up about injustices happening within their school, within the teachers themselves. You should go to school and feel absolutely safe and be there to be your most creative self, to learn, to grow, and for these courageous individuals to speak up and say, this is not right, is a huge step because it allows other people to recognize the same thing that they've been suffering through. And that leads to more conversation, and that conversation leads to policy, and that conversation leads to real change. And in this case, a global conversation changes things. We're fortunate, and we're humbled, and we're honored that we can be one small part of that. And I think it's critical that we shine light on the things that we haven't been talking about in the past, and that's why public conversation is our purpose, because we think it drives society. It can move society in really positive and constructive ways.
Twitter in Korea?
Yeah. So once again, our purpose is serving the public conversation, and we believe that is important because we believe that the public conversation influences and drives society. And nowhere is that more true than here in Korea. The public conversation drives the Korean society. And we want to put our best effort forward in terms of making sure that we can serve that in a way that people find valuable every single day. So we've learned a lot on this trip, and we're taking notes, and we will be integrating into how we think about the future, and also through your questions of us.